Hello book friends and welcome to my channel. This is going to be my November and December reading wrap up. My name is Nana, by the way. Right now it's the middle of December and the date is, I have no idea actually. But we are definitely more than midway through, I think. I really have no idea what the date is. But anyways, I am going to do my December and November reading wrap up now because we are going on a ski holiday soon. So I won't really have the time to film at the end of December. So I'm just gonna be doing some filming now instead. So one of my goals have been to read more physical books instead of just listening to audiobooks, because I do that a lot. I do have a daughter with cerebral palsy, and there's just a lot of situations where, where I'm feeding her with the feeding tube or cleaning the house or stuff like that, where I can listen to audiobooks. And I don't have that much time reading actual physical copies. But I try to scroll less and get some real reading done instead. And that has been working. So I am quite proud of myself, actually. But anyways, let's get started. I read the Vampire Academy series. I am at book 6 right now. I think I'm like 100 pages in. So I will definitely be finished with that at the end of December. And there's also a sequel to this series, and that's my goal, to read that next in January, and then I will give like a full reading wrap up of the series so I can really fully dive into the entire series, and I think that's going to be quite interesting. I have read the Vampire Academy series before when I was like 18, I think, and the sequel I haven't read yet. And the first book is from 2007, and the last book, book 6 in the series, is from 2010. So they're a bit older, and this is also my first reread on BookTube. I think it's been a while since I'd done a reread, but it was overall quite nice to dive into a nostalgic series because I really loved it when I was a teenager. Does it have flaws? Absolutely, yes. You can definitely also tell that it was from that time, There's just so much value putting into looks, especially for women and girls, but also for men. Like if you're a short king, no. I'm like, come on, be nice to the short kings, okay? But yeah, no. And also be nice to, just a standard looking girl, woman. Like what's wrong with that? Was there fat shaming in this book? I don't really recall that there was, but I just don't think any of the characters are chunky, But truth be told, is that how you say it? Yes. They are all vampires. They are not chunky, I guess. Anyways, let's talk about the plot. You do follow Rose, who is a vampire. A vampire is a mix of like a vampire and a human, or like a vampire thing. And Rose has this bond with Lisa, who is a clean vampire. And Lisa is also a princess in this world. There are a lot of royals within this vampire society. So she is not like a standalone princess. There are more, but she is the last one of the Dragomir line. So she is a big deal though. Rose and Lisa are best friends, and like I said, they share this bond where Rose can read Lisa's mind. Obviously, it is also a romantasy series. And is it problematic? I don't know, because I also really do like romance, and I really liked it when I was 18, so I don't know. But anyways, Rose's trainer, he's not her teacher, but he helps her to become this really great guardian, because vampires are guardians for the vampires. Rose really wants to be Lisa's guardian so that they can be together all the time. And also because they have that bond. So Dimitri is helping her with that. I think he's like 23 or 24 when the series begins, and Rose is 17. Yeah, that's probably not the best. I mean, if she was like 18 and he was 24, I think that could be a lot better, you know. It's not super duper problematic, but it is a little bit problematic, right? Yeah, it is. Anyways, of course, he is this really decent guy. I really do want to fully dive into the entire series when I'm done with the sequel. I already felt like I talked a lot about this already. There are definitely many things wrong with this, but am I entertained? Yes. That's the overall take I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I have been entertained. You know what? That's really important. What am I gonna rate this? I don't know. 4-ish, I guess, but also I have been really entertained. Obviously, since I could like read instead of scrolling. The rating is just a little bit difficult because, yeah, you know. Okay, let's move on. I read a Christmas book, Christmas-ish book, where you follow Stella. And Stella owns this, I don't know if it's like a Christmas farm, but anyways, they sell Christmas trees. They have this barn where they have a Santa there and a maze and a lot of other things. So they have this little tourist attraction. Money is a bit tight. And Stella learns about this contest where this really famous influencer is going around exploring different kinds of, I guess, tourist attractions and places to stay. The winner of this contest is getting a lot of, what's it called? Yeah, I guess you call it a collab, right? Where this influencer is vlogging her experience with whomever wins this contest. Stella decides that, okay, she wants to try, but she knows that the influencer really likes a good love story as well. So she asks her best friend, Luca, if they should be doing some fake dating. So this book is really friends to lovers. And I thought it could be maybe a little bit similar to People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is a really famous romance author, and People We Meet on Vacation is one of my favorite romance books. I think it's so good. And I love Friends to Lovers. I love the yearning that there can be in those kinds of stories. But in this one, there was just no reason for them to not have become a couple, you know? Friends to Lovers, there was just a lot going on, and I could definitely feel the story and I could understand it. In Lovelight Farms, did I even say what this book was called? It's called Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. Borison, by the way. There was no reason for them not being together. So I don't think that this story had a lot of depths to it. The stakes were not high. They were really, really low. But if you're looking for a book with a really warm and cozy atmosphere with really low stakes, I think this book could be really perfect for that. I mean, sometimes you could just be in the mood for that if something terrible has happened to you. I guess then I would really recommend this book. There's just no real, conflict to it. I was a bit confused by that. There's always a conflict in a book, right? There's just nothing in this one. So the rating is going to be like a small 3-star, I think. Yeah, holiday books are usually not a big thing of mine. They do disappoint a lot. I have read In Holidays by Christina Lauren. That one was really good, by the way. Then I read 2 books from Taylor Jenkins Reid, and these books are her earlier works. And the first one I read is called After I Do, and this one was so good. I really had the same feeling when I was reading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I really needed to know what was going to happen. I just needed more. Yeah, you do follow Lauren and Ryan, and they have been together for, I think, like 10 years or something like that. And they find themselves in a little bit of a rut. They are married and they just can't stop fighting, and they have just fallen out of love with each other. So Ryan comes up with this idea that they should live separately for a year and then have zero contact with each other and then recess their marriage when he comes back. He's the one who's moving out. And the concept of this was really interesting. I could not do that myself, no. But there was so much personal growth in this book. You only follow Lauren's perspective. And I just think this whole year was described really realistically of how she was going through all of these emotions. And did she make some questionable choices from time to time? Yes, she did. Was she mad? Yes. Was she sad? Of course. Was she jealous? Yes. And then she was also like, okay, maybe I don't need him in my life. And you just did not know as a reader how this book was going to end. And I really liked that. This was not a straightforward romance book at all. This could have gone both ways. I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but it was just so good. I was so intrigued. But yeah, this is also really my thing, where you just get to do a little analyzing on the personal growth and different characters and what works for some and what would not work for others. You know, it's nice with a little drama, just not when it happens to yourself, you know, but I'm always like, oh, is there drama over there? Okay, count me in. So yeah, this was good. The other one that I read is called Forever After Interrupted. And in this one, you do follow Elsie and Ben. Ben dies, like on page 1, basically. Then you follow Elsie 6 months before he dies and the 6 months after. So the way that she fell in love with him and the way that she is grieving him after his death. They do get to be married for like a week and a half before he dies. And this book really explores, like, is Elsie entitled, or at least that's how she feels, is she entitled to feel this kind of grief? Because she's really feeling it, obviously, when she has only been married to Ben for like a week and a half, and she has only known Ben for 6 months. And it also explores that sometimes people just fell in love rather quickly and they move in together and they decide to get married. And that's also okay. So you do have this point of view of two people that are just falling in love really quickly, and then Elsie's grieving afterwards. I didn't connect that much with this story as the other one after I do. I don't know, maybe it was just a topic as well that I don't want to connect that much with. Maybe it's just too hard to think about, be a widow, you know. But I don't think that was it. I think it's more how it was written. And I think with the first one, After I Do, you just have a much bigger time span. Like mainly it was a year when they are living separately, but you get a lot of references to when they were in college and stuff like that. This book is just such a short insight to Elsie's hopefully very long life. And I don't know if I connected with that as much as I would have liked. But anyways, it was not a bad book, but maybe just a 3.5 stars. And then I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. In this one, you do follow Elena Starko. This is a YA fantasy series. And you have Grishas in this world. And then you have this dark spot in their world where there's monsters living in it. Sometimes you have to cross this dark hole to get to the other side, to trade with other countries and stuff like that. Anyways, this country is ruled by humans. And they have the Grishas, like I said. And the Grishas have magical powers. And Elena learns that she is apparently also a Grisha with really rare light powers. And then she gets dragged to the Darkling's palace. The Darkling is the one who is leading and controlling and guiding all of the Grishas. And I'm not going to spoil much more than that, but the first book was good. I really liked it. Definitely liked the 3 first quarters of the book was really, really good. The last part was a bit meh. And then book 2 and 3 was just really dragged out. There's also romance going on in here. I would say it's more fantasy based than romance based, but there's still a lot of romance going on. But I didn't know what the author wanted me to feel. I didn't really feel that much about anyone. And the one that is supposed to be, the one, I didn't like him. He was just so annoying too. So yeah, there's a lot of romance and I was just annoyed at it. And now my candlelight is doing something weird. I'm just gonna blow it out. Okay, we do not want a house fire. Yeah, this was just rather disappointing to read. This next series, but you can read them as standalones, and it's called Six of Crows. I have heard many people saying that this is better than Shadow and Bone, but still, I don't know if I want to try it. Yeah, this was not the best. Maybe just a... I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my daughter's toy. She has a little farm, and that was the chicken. Okay, scary. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, no. 3 stars, I guess. Not the best. So that was all of the books that I read in November and like half of December. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Yeah, the next couple of videos are going to be my 2025 reading wrap up and some statistics to this year. I will see you in another video. You take care. Bye.